Hello again. So in this video, we're going to talk about your academics. So transcript is one of the most important items admission officers will look at in your application profile. Well, this is a known fact, right? But what you may not know is what the admission officers will do with your transcript. Actually, for them, there's a lot more information beyond grades on your transcript. So how do the admission officers evaluate your transcript? Let's take a look. Now, what you're looking at is the model I use to evaluate my students' transcripts. Of course, first, they're going to look at course selection. They do so to understand three things. The first thing is that whether the courses you take are highly relevant to the major you want to apply to. For example, if you're applying to business program, the admission officers will look at your English, math, stats, econ, and accounting if you take them, as having a good sense of a number is quite vital for business students. For another example, if you want to apply to arts program, say communication, then we're going to look at your English, of course, and some of your social studies and arts courses. But we don't only expect you to take all of the arts courses or STEM courses. Admission officers also hope that you can be well-rounded. So it would be nice if you also take some social study courses, although you're quite passionate at numbers or science. Or suppose you want to be an arts program student, it will be still great if you also take some high-level science classes or other kinds, like math or business. So the third thing is that they will understand your passion and talent from your transcript. Or let me put it another way. Your grades of the courses will be used as, evidence to convince admission guys of your potential to thrive in this major and in this college. For example, if all of your grades relating with numbers suck, then it will not be very convincible for me if you tell me that you want to apply to business or science programs. Similarly, if you want to apply to programs like psychology, then it does not make sense if all your math and science classes have really high scores, yet your social courses don't really look good. Simply put, if you declare that you're fascinated by, computer science or general engineering, then you need to prove it with your transcript, with your grades, and the courses you take. So, the second thing an admission officer want to find from your transcript is that whether you have taken some more challenging courses. So one thing you may have known is that the workload in the top-tier university is very, very overwhelming. So when considering your academic strengths, they do want to make sure that you have the ability to survive and even thrive in the highly competitive learning environment in the college. So basically, all higher level courses are considered as, challenging courses, including IB courses, AP courses, honor classes, or, some of my students may be approved to attend the concurrent study program in the universities and take some university level of courses. All of those can count as more rigorous courses. Do remember that many colleges highly value the course rigor, so make sure that you choose some of the most challenging courses within your reach when you do the course selection. Next, admission officers will not simply look at your GPA, because this data itself doesn't give them much information about your academic strength. They want to know your strengths of the GPA, namely your ranking, and they will not only consider your ranking, but also the ranking of your high school. Basically, the higher your high school ranks, the more rigorous your curriculum will be. So through comparing your ranking and your school's ranking, they will have a better sense of your ability to learn as well as your academic potential. So what is more, to further understand your academic ability, admission officers will do some research of your high school to understand the learning environment of yours as well as the community. So you may be wondering, is that even possible? How do they gain so much details about my high school as there are so many applicants? Well, I would say that is a really good question, but I'll tell you, they really do have many different ways of knowing about your school. As I said, Simply looking at your GPA doesn't give them enough information, and it will be really unfair to say that a student with 3.9 GPA in high school A must perform better than another 3.75 student in another high school. So how do they do it? There are several ways. First of all, there's something called school profile. So basically, when the counselor of your high school sends your official transcripts, they will also send the school profile. And that document includes a lot of information about your high school, including how many students in your high school, how many courses are offered, and most importantly, the distribution of the grades and the average of each course. So this document will provide much useful information for admission officers. So remember, this is why your transcript is very important to your application, and don't underestimate admission officers' resources. Your grades may be the only data they can access to know about you, so they will study them very well. Now, let's look at some student cases.